Okay. Welcome back. We're picking where we left off last time in Grand Tactician, the Civil War, where we have the first battle of Union forces versus Confederate forces, um, just outside of Alexandria here, where we outnumber the Confederates 3-1. So this is not going to be a major battle. This is a battle we should reasonably win. We will order the assault and drive the Confederates from the field. I think this is something they're... Some dev diaries implying that they're going to rework how the battle maps are made. Right now, all the battle maps are handmade based on historical battle sites, um, which means they're very interesting, very detailed maps, but you tend to end up playing over and over and over again, whereas they're going to make some more dynamic maps. Oh, so we're going to enjoy basically being forced on the historic ones over and over again. Deployment, deploy our forces for battle. Our scouts report the enemy is near the Manassas Junction, Virginia. Our army is prepared for battle. We are facing the Army of the Potomac under command of Wade Hampton, with an estimated strength of 4,000 men and 5 guns. The enemy army is green. The morale is reported as confident. Reports indicate their supply situation is outstanding. The supply state of our army is also outstanding. And we are deployed by default over here. Let's try and grab the... Oops. Yeah. Oh, it's trying to make me put the report away. Okay. Let's put the report away and we'll rotate around to be oriented with our director attack. These are the two positions the enemy that we have as shared objectives. We can either basically shoot the enemy up until they're too scared to hold their positions and run away, or we can try to hold those objectives, which will also apply a progressively worse morale penalty. There we go. That's the army commander. If we had reinforcements, the army for reinforcements could be coming from here. We don't have any reinforcements. Everyone is on the battlefield at the start here. So we'll go ahead and line our troops up like so. One thing I will do is we will go ahead and detach the cavalry from the command so that I can command them separately to send them where they need to go. We're going to probably sweep them around to do some reconnaissance while the rest of the guys approach up the middle. And with that, let's hit play and start ordering general advancement for the troops. So let's kind of order a move like so. And these guys will go ahead and move up onto the hill over here like so. And then we'll let those guys go forth a margin. One thing I kind of don't like about the game in here is if you zoom in, you'll get nice, good noise associated with the units moving around, but if you're zoomed out on like sort of that map painted version, it's dead quiet. Some variation where I'd like to get some audio of the troops moving around, especially at this sort of zoom level, would be nice. But yes, the goal right now is to locate the enemy. We're unlikely to fight them today. It is about 6:20 at night. It's already fairly late in the day for our advance. Hopefully, if we advance enough, we can set up more appropriate opposite the enemy. Kind of the plan right now. We can tell that they are on the objectives. And you can sort of see the hot B here. Every time that fills up, I think it's applying a stacking morale penalty to our troops. So we are going to have to push our numerical advantage. We can't just sit back and wait for them because they're on the objectives. They've got the stuff we want. Oops, that's not the command I wanted to issue. Where's the company commander? There's the army commander. Something more like that move. Somewhat surprised we have yet to find the enemy. Though they're presumably like right here on top of this objective, behind the rail embankment. I think that's a rail embankment. No rail on it yet, but that's a rail embankment if I remember this map. Yeah, cavalry is reporting detection of the enemy forces just behind the rail embankment. Enemy cannon and the enemy infantry. And that is the end of the day. So the troops resupply during the night. We didn't really use any supplies, so that isn't an issue. We do have a little bit of defensive capacity because it's been a day, but we're on the attack, so we don't really need very many. We didn't get very many. Deploy our forces for battle. So yes, they control both objectives. We'll probably go ahead and move the cavalry over to the western front now that we have located the enemy, so we're in position to run them up to grab the western of the two objectives. Whereas we'll put the main army in its attack positions. And then we do obviously want to change formation because we've arrived, right? Proverbially. The proverbial arrival has happened. Okay, that looks like a pretty good artillery line for firing. Again, we'll splay out mostly in single line. Probably both sides of the artillery. In preparation for the advance upon the enemy. Okay, so I think that is our deployment. I think as soon as I hit play, our artillery will begin pounding the enemy as we begin preparations for our troops to advance.
No slacking, soldier.
Oh, well, of course the enemy redeployed a little bit. That's fair. We basically zoned them out of that forest there. Let's go ahead and... How do I want to handle this? Cavalry are obviously still going to do the run onto that objective. And then let's order a bunch of skirmishes out to cover the advance. Infantry, deploy skirmishers. See how successfully those guys are deploying the skirmishers, and we'll just sort of push that forward. They're dug in a bit of forest, so the artillery is not going to be super useful in this fight. And yeah, the point of these skirmishers is sort of cover the advance as our troops push forward. Not that I think the enemy can actually withstand the onslaught of our impending assault. We do, again, outnumber them 3-1. Has the cavalry arrived at target yet? No. Maybe just because it's going to take a while for the order to get out there. To actually tell them to advance.
Did you see that over yonder? Did you see that over yonder? I got one! Watch up!
Skirmishers are getting engaged, as you can tell with the level of noise coming off of them. As the look is, we are approaching the point where our troops are on the objective. We have, in most cases, successfully covered the advance. Okay, let's zoom out, because it is a bit loud when we're up and close. May need to turn the sound volume down in the battles a little bit. Gunfire, after all, is a bit loud. That's fair. The skirmishers alone are almost routing one of the enemy units. Oof. The main battle group has not even arrived yet, and there's already enemies on the verge of withdrawal. soldiers. It's time to engage. Oh yeah, we've already routed the Elwes brigade here is routing. We haven't even brought in the regulars yet to fight them. So the skirmishers have gone ahead. Enemy is retreating. Yes, that doesn't surprise me. Short, brutal, violent affair. I think we actually literally got one of the enemy units to just give up and rout before the main line even arrived. We brought artillery. Our artillery didn't really do anything because they were hiding in the forest, which is a fair situation. Was that the enemy reorganizing? Does appear to be reorganizing.
Get that! Did you
Yeah, at this point I might as well just accelerate the speed. I don't think we're catching. Yeah, let's go accelerate the speed and get the battle over with. Oh, where's that bit rallying? I think they're trying to reorganize. I don't think they're going to successfully reorganize. There we go. Your army is victorious. Casualties, they lost 1,000 troops of their 4,000. We lost 351 of... well, 368. 354 of which came from the infantry, 4 from the cavalry. Okay, that's not quite mathing. We've got 10 more troops missing than we should be from some of the infantry and the cavalry. I guess we probably lost some of the gunners apparently deserted, probably. But yeah, that is a victory, a minor victory. And of course, let's leave the battle. So with that, I think that's going to be a video. That's not going to be a particularly long video, but that's going to be the first battle of the campaign, minor victory. Again, my plan is to edit the battles out as their own separate affair. So we'll have a playlist of battles, a playlist of the main campaign playthrough. So if you're watching YouTube, there probably will be a part up tomorrow. Because we're gonna get back into it. We're gonna almost certainly have some more battles very quickly in the main campaign here. So there will probably be a battle up tomorrow. There'll probably be a campaign episode up tomorrow because we're about to start what is the third campaign episode at this point. There might not be a campaign episode up the day after that, depends on how many battles we get in the next part. But if you're watching on YouTube, again, you can expect there to be more parts of this up in the future. If you're watching Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to go ahead and mute the mic for a second so that I have a good empty space with which to do the edit. But until the next part, which will, for people watching on Twitch, will be the campaign. For YouTube, depending upon where, if you're watching the playlist, it will be another battle, it'll be the next battle in the campaign. So until the next part, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.